Hello and welcome to what is going to be the first episode of the Mums Who Rise podcast. Oh my gosh. And I still don't know whether this is just going to live inside of my community or whether eventually this will spread to the world. Who knows? But for now, I'm just going to keep it in the community. And the reason I'm starting this for full transparency is I like to talk and I've got a lot of depth and I've got a lot of ideas. And what I find is, I think when I'm just putting out short form content, I really struggle to hit all of the points I want to hit and all of the nuances, because what I'm talking about is deep self-regulation. It's deep self-awareness. It is figuring out who you are and what you want and what makes you the way you are, so that you can make different choices moving forward if you're not happy, or how to maximize truly your motherhood experience. And trying to cram that into 1 minute or 3 minutes is a challenge for me. I'm really good at connecting dots. I have a lot of knowledge that I think it just needs to be put in one place where I can talk openly, so that you get the real depth that you need and you fully understand what I'm talking about, not just in snippets, but you can actually go away and use what I am talking about. So that's what the podcast is born from, my need to yap. So yeah, let's get going. So today, what I really wanted to talk about is like this huge epiphany that I had the other day. And it was like, when I tell you like the difference in my energy and my mood since having this epiphany, like it is an understatement. For about, I don't know, 2 months, 1 month, 2 months, I was really struggling with motivation, struggling with just joy, getting out of bed in the morning. Honestly, some days I felt like I was literally just going through the motions for such a long period of time. And I was saying to my partner, I was like, why can I not get through this funk? And I had a day where I was supposed to be sitting down and doing work, and I just could not, for the life of me, gather any focus. So I was like, okay, I need to journal. I need to figure out what is going on, because thinking through it in my head isn't really helping. I can't really get to the bottom of it. And I know that every time I sit and write things on paper, things become a lot more clearer. Even if it is just to like get out all of my emotions, how angry I am or upset I am or whatever, by the end of the time I've journaled, I always feel 10 times better. So I sat down and I was writing, and honestly, about 4 lines in, I wrote, "My needs don't matter." And I literally my heart literally stopped. I was like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. And at the time, I think I thought I was just applying it to motherhood and, always putting myself last. Like, I can't remember the last time I bought new clothes. I never put any time into my appearance. I like kind of self-sacrificing in the way of sleep and getting help and all of those things that a lot of mums do. But I think I didn't really understand why I was doing it. I just thought that's just who I am as a mum. That's just who I am. But once I uncovered it, I realized that this is a pattern that goes back throughout my entire life. It shows up in people pleasing. It showed up in like different ways that I have anxiety. It showed up in the way that I expect my partner to treat me, because I don't treat myself like my needs matter. And sometimes he doesn't treat me like my needs matter, or not in the way that I would like. And it just kind of really clicked into place for me, like why motherhood has felt so hard and self-sacrificing for me, because I literally have given up everything outside of working and being a mum. And while I've loved a lot of that journey and I've been able to find joy and find happiness in that, I haven't truly been looking after myself and my needs in the way that I should have been. And so now I know this. I'm like, oh, okay, this makes sense. I dug in a little bit, and you might have this belief. You might be recognizing yourself in what I'm saying. You might be realizing that actually I do put myself last. Maybe if you're like me, you're like, oh, I don't even have time for a shower, because you're trying to be the best mum that you can be, or be the best whatever that you can be. And so you just keep putting yourself to the bottom of the list, and you keep thinking, oh, I'm going to do better. I'm going to get my nails done, or I'm going to go out with the girls, or I'm going to do something, and you just never do it. And while you might be identifying that, you might have this belief as well, this underlying belief. And please know as well, this wasn't a conscious belief until I did this journaling. I was totally unaware of it, but it was running a lot of the habits and the things that I did in the background. And then I became aware of it. And now I'm like, oh, okay, so now I need to make sure that I treat myself as if my needs do matter. My needs do matter. Logically, I know that. But somewhere within my subconscious, my needs don't matter. And again, this is why coaching and the deep, knowing of yourself and that deeper work with a coach is so important, because then you learn about where that comes from. And for all of us, that will be totally different. So for me, I think a lot of it comes from, I had a 90s mum who wasn't super maternal. I was left to cry it out. If I had big emotions, big tantrums, go off by yourself. If I remember times through my childhood trying to express a need and it getting shut down. So while I have a good relationship with my parents, and I'm not saying like anything bad about them, while I experience that, I can recognize how my brain as a child has learned over time that my needs weren't important. And then obviously you carry that. Most of your beliefs are formed before you're 7. So you carry that with you your whole life in your subconscious, not even aware that it is there, and it shows up in your behavior time after time after time. So like I said, I've definitely, now I've become aware of this, realized that I've been doing this most of my life. But motherhood has really amplified it, because there is this huge self-sacrificing element to motherhood. If you want it to be, it can be all-consuming. Or you can say that my needs still get to matter even though I'm a mum. And actually, it's really important that you do that, because when you are happy, when you are looked after, when you feel vibrant, when you feel energetic, when you feel calm internally, you then transfer that to your children. Because we all know as well, most of us know that our children's nervous system regulates off our own. So if we're dysregulated and we're not looking after ourselves, that even we can put on the best face in the world, subconsciously through our nervous system, that is being transferred to our children. So the more that we look after ourselves and the more that we treat ourselves like our needs do matter, the better we feel, the better the children feel, and ultimately they also learn to put their needs first as well. So what am I doing about it? Because now I have that information, I'm like, okay, how do I now start treating myself as if my needs do matter, and transferring that to the people in my home, to my kids, to my partner, in a way that feels good for me, because I'm not this harsh line boundaries person, pushy and direct. I want the house to feel peaceful and harmonious, and I want us to get on the same wavelength, but I don't want to have to be a dick about it. So what I've been doing is really thinking about what needs do I have, and what has been getting met and what hasn't, and what areas of my life are there where there are needs met and unmet, for example. So for me, what I did was I broke my life down into 8 areas that were really important to me. Now, if you're going to do this at home, just know that you might not have 8 areas. You might have more. You might have 10 or 12. You might only have 4 or 5. It's not really about how many areas of your life you can break it down into. This is just what you need, how you can compartmentalize your life so that you can meet your needs in each of those areas. So, for example, my 8 are the kids. That's important to me, my relationship with my kids. My relationship with my partner is another one. Work, my work life was really important to me, and I love it, and I want to make sure that I am still doing this, for lots of years to come. Movement is one of mine, because moving my body has been a big part of my life, all of my life, until I became a mum, and then I've just become so sedentary, bar obviously running after the kids. So I need to get movement back into my life. That's really important, and I know that I feel 10 times better when I have movement. For you, that might just be like health in general, or it might be the way you're eating. It might be something slightly different, but just something that these areas are things that when you pay attention to it in the right way, that makes you feel good. Then I've got me time is a fifth one, social time, sixth, house, that's another area for me, and then self-care is another area. So I broke it down into the 8 areas, and then I went through each one and decided like what would make me successful, or what would I consider to be a successful week in that area, where my needs are met in that area, where I can walk away from that week feeling good. So again, I'll give you some examples. Like with the kids, so I think me and the kids have a pretty good relationship. I'm pretty happy like 90% of the time with what we do. But through the winter, I've definitely been letting slip, like us getting out of the house, going outside. And since having Sunny, I think that one-to-one time with each of the kids has also slipped a little bit. So for me, things that I want to put attention to in the kids area that would satisfy my needs are getting out more. So maybe once or twice a week, either going to a soft play or a play cafe, or going out for a walk all together, just something like that. And then some focused one-to-one time. And outside of that, like, I'm pretty happy with me and the kids. One of the other things for me was self-care. So this is like basically regular showering, which I know it sounds awful. And I think if you'd have told me this before I had kids, I would have been like, ugh, disgusting. But like I would just like jump into work on a Monday when I didn't have the kids and I didn't have all the chaos going on. I would just jump into work and work all day, and then go and pick the kids up and have tea and blah, blah, blah. And I wouldn't like shower until either the evening or the next day. And now I'm like, oh my God, like I need to just be showering more often because it makes me feel good. Keeping on top of my nails and my lashes and my brows, they're things that I do at home, and I literally will do them like once every 6 months and I feel amazing. And then I let it go to waste. So I just want to keep doing that like once a month kind of thing, or once every 5 weeks, however long it needs to be. These things are just kept on top of. I'm not high maintenance self-care gal, and I don't really love it. So for me, this is just more about looking better, feeling better, and just like ultimately like that affects my confidence overall. And I'm in a customer facing role. Like I want to feel on the outside how I feel on the inside. Whereas I've been looking basically like a sack of shit for the last 4 years. And I'm like, okay, I just need to put a bit more attention to it and I'll feel 10 times better. Just again, for another example, the house. So what I mean by the house, this is actually a really interesting one. I'll talk about this a little bit more. What I mean about the house is, so what I'm really good at is like maintenance, tidying, hoover, quick dust downstairs, like, you come in, it looks tidy-ish, except when the kids are here, obviously. But I was never getting time to like do the deep clean. I was always prioritizing other things. Like, so I've decided that like for me to feel good and on top of the house, because it is important. And I did a lot of work around why I used to like really like stress clean and clean a lot. But then I found out that was probably like some like mild trauma response to my childhood of, feeling frantic when the house was a mess because my mum used to get angry, etc., etc. Maybe for another episode, that one. So I got to a point where I could live in the mess and I could still semi-function. But over time, being in that environment that didn't feel as clean as I wanted it to be, it didn't feel as tidy as I wanted it to be, like really drained me. And again, I really struggled to work in that environment and like concentrate on the kids. So for me to feel successful in that area, I know that once a week I need to clean every room in the house. Like every room needs to be cleaned once a week. And then the other thing, which then again, this could be a whole episode itself. But the other thing that is really important to me, so we live in a 2-bed house and there's about to be 6 of us if you include the dog. We've got a small house and obviously lots of things and lots of people and stuff. And I don't like clutter. I don't like too much stuff. I'm definitely like a minimalist kind of gal. And so what I was finding, and obviously with kids, when you try and do a clear out, what would take you a day at best anyway. When you've got kids, it can sometimes like drag out for like days and weeks on end. So it's just something that I've been putting off, is just doing regular clear outs. And the system that I've come up for this, I think is really good, which is that once a month, I will focus on one area of the house, or we will, me and Dan, obviously, focus on one area of the house every month. So for me, I've got mine broken down into 6 areas. Yours might be more or it might be less. It depends on the size of your house, obviously. But for me, so I've got kitchen and dining area, because the kitchen, you kind of stay on top of that anyway, but the kitchen and the dining area, the living room, bedroom 1, bedroom 2, bathroom, and then outside areas, which is like garden, yard and car. For me, they're like the 6 areas. And so, for example, January might be cleaning out the dining room. February might be clearing out the bedroom. March might be cleaning out the bathroom. And as well, what I think my plan is here is, so in that month, I've got all month and I've got to clear the room. I've got to do a bit of a clear out. I've got to look through things, get rid of stuff we don't need, like do a run to the tip, do a run to the charity shop, whatever we need. But then also, I think it's a way of staying on top of the house as well, because when I'm looking around and there's like little odd jobs to do in every room, I'm like, oh my God, how and when are we going to do this? Whereas if I know February is my month for the kitchen or the kitchen diner, and there's a little job that needs doing in there, the paint needs topping up or the lights need changing or whatever, then in that month, I will also do that task. And then for me, how it works out is there's 6 areas. So then I'll rotate it again for the end of the year. So every room is getting some attention and a clear out twice a year. And I think that is going to potentially hugely change my life if I can stick to it. So this is how I'm starting. I'm just starting with awareness of different areas of my life, the needs that I have in those areas, and I've given it like a rough structure. Now, I'm not about structured life. I go with energy. I go with the flow, what I'm feeling on the day. And yeah, for me to be like, Monday is the night I'm with Dan. Tuesday is the night I do work. Wednesday is the night I do self-care. I know that I wouldn't stick to that. I need to just have a rough schedule of like, okay, 2 nights will be work. 1 night will be Dan. 1 night will be socializing. 1 night will be self-care, whatever. And if Monday is Dan 1 week and next week it's Friday, it's like no big deal. And I think for me, the next step in this process is that I need some sort of like visual reminder, because it's all very well and good. You have this epiphany and you get all the energy, you do the initial planning, you have a great first week, and then you forget about it. So I am going to be sitting at some point this week. Maybe I'll give it to my assistant. I don't know. We'll see. And I'm going to be creating like a little prompt or a nice little visual calendar. Maybe I'm thinking like, each area is on its own little card with like some blue tack, and then I can like slot it into the week depending on the kind of week I've got ahead. Again, just so that every week I know that my needs are being met, and not in like this overly, nothing's really getting substituted out here. It's just removing a bit of the pressure on just work and just mum, and remembering that I get to also have me time. I get to stay on top of the house in a way that feels more easy and flexible for me. Me and Dan have decided that we're just gonna, when we're both together on a weekend, we're gonna spend an hour, because it doesn't take long to clean our house. He's gonna go up, I'm gonna go down, or vice versa. We're gonna clean it while the kids are playing, and then it's gonna be done for the week. It won't take us long. It's just about that awareness and that intention to do so. So these are my intentions. This is what I'm doing. I've started off this week. I did my lashes, did my brows. What else have I done? Oh yeah, and today I made sure that I had a break from my computer. I went and walked the dog. That was like my movement piece. Had a shower. So I'm just bringing it in gently. And then, tonight I might spend a bit of time doing some work, or I might just have a me time night because Dan's away. I'm not really sure. I'll see how I feel. But I think, again, if you are somebody who's thinking about trying this at home, the first step is like awareness that your needs do matter, and it's really important for you and your family that your needs do matter. 2, what are those different areas of your life, and what is important for you in those areas? Why is that important for you in that area? And then 3, a rough guide or a plan on how you're actually going to execute that. And then if I get to making these resources, I will do it. I will actually do it this week because I know that this is really important. I will also post them in the community for you guys to have, or if you guys get to it first and you guys want to make your own, like, please share, because I'm sure most of you are better at this than me, and you can share below what your different areas are and your different needs or your key revelations and takeaways from this episode. I would love to hear it, and I would love to support you in just recognizing that your needs matter, but actually implementing on it, because that is the key thing. Implementation is absolutely key. So I hope you go away. I hope you go away from this episode just remembering that you are worth investing in, your time and your energy as well. It matters hugely for you to be regulated, to be happier, to be calmer, but also that then translates to your kids, to your family, to your relationships. Everything around you will change when you start to treat yourself like your needs actually matter. And that's what I want you to take away from today's episode. So if you liked it, let me know down below, and I will hopefully keep doing these moving forward. My plan is to do one a week and post it in the community for now, like I said, and maybe one day further out there, who knows. But I am wishing you all a wonderful week. Stay happy, mama, and remember that you are the key to changing the world. I think every mum has the power to change the world, because when you change yourself, when you feel happier, healthier, and calmer, when you break cycles, you are then setting up your children to be happier, healthier children who ultimately grow into happy, healthy adults who can have more capacity for love, who aren't having to process all of these things that we're having to process. And I think the world will be a better place for that. So have a wonderful week. Stay happy, mama, and let me know how you found this episode in the comments.